Well, hello there, you guys. I've got to clean the screen. I think there's a thumbprint there. Welcome to our Friday live stream. I've promised you a few sips of tea before we begin. So while you all get here, I'm going to just sit here and stare at you and drink tea. Today we are having some Taylor's of Harrogate afternoon, Scottish afternoon tea. There we go. Taylor's of Harrogate, Scottish afternoon tea. It's a little bit less caffeine and it's lovely. So cheers, my dears. Welcome to our Friday gathering. As I've said, I have to just sit here and drink some tea because last time I talked and talked and talked and we let the tea go cold and that was terrible. So let's just have a few sips of tea together. It's very hot. Can you see the hot steam coming off? Who's a fan of like lukewarm tea? Is anyone, drinks lukewarm tea or are you all nice hot tea fans? Like even in summer drinking hot tea. Hello, oh from Rhode Island, Eloise Babak. Lovely. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I am gonna try to say everyone's name right. Thank you for being here. Cheers, cheers. We're gonna just sit here just for a few minutes and have a little time to chill. You guys, I was on Psychic Bob's live stream this morning. I don't remember if I shared that video or not. Last week I was on it as well. I'm taking his psychic development class and it's been very fun to take that. We got to use our imagination when we're artists and musicians and everything. And so being able to just kind of take a psychic class, a psychic development class is very fabulous. So it's every Saturday. It's every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wouldn't it be fun? We could all be in the class together. Just go, if you're interested in it, I should link it below. But it is, if you go to Psychic Bob Hickman, Psychic Bob Hickman.com. There's a little link on his website for the psychic development class. It's $30 to join it. It's a 2-hour class on Zoom. Blissfully, Annika, lovely, hi. And Eloise says, sounds interesting. Yes, it is very interesting. And you know what? Before the class starts, I always play the harp. You're wasting your money, says Fanny. Fanny Buster! I'm the Suda Harrison. I pronounced that wrong, I know, but I'm so happy that you're here. Fanny Buster, you are one of my oldest subscribers. I love you. Thank you so much for being here. However, I think it's an interesting class. I'm finding it wonderful. And even if you don't believe in any of those things, we have an imagination, and as an artist, as a musician, as a human, why not learn about it, So I have a quote on, hold on. I have a quote on my music stand, which I feel like is very apropos. It's a quote from Aristotle. It says, hello, Abdel Haq. Thank you so much for being here. Look, this quote says, it is a mark of an educated mind to entertain an idea without accepting it. Rebecca from India. Wow, lovely, lovely, lovely. Do you guys like this quote from Aristotle? It's the mark of an educated mind. Thank you, Designer Diaries. You're so beautiful as a human being. Thank you. Fanny Buster, I'm psychic. You will sit over water soon. Anyway, I think this is an interesting quote for us to remember in our society today. An educated mind can entertain an idea without accepting it. You can mull it over, you can contemplate it, you can discuss it, but you don't necessarily have to accept it and take it as true if it's not yours, your thing. So, gotta go back, the ancient Greeks they nailed it. They nailed a lot of things. So this goes back on my music stand. There we go, let me pop this up here. Let me have a few more sips of tea. Today we are going to be talking about thank you blissfully. It is a nice quote, isn't it? I love that. Today we're going to be talking about, could you please play the Godfather music for us? Do you know how the Godfather goes? I don't know how that goes. We could listen to it and I can see if I can figure it out. Let's see. But today we're going to be talking about major versus minor, light versus dark, yin and yang. And the reason is in lessons this week we are learning. We've been listening and really learning seconds, whole steps and half steps, the tiny building blocks of music. The tiniest building block of music is a half step, then a whole step, then a minor third, and then a major third. And getting into minor and major thirds, you can really hear kind of that yin and yang, light, dark, major, minor kind of thing. So I'm gonna show that to you on the harp a little bit. But I was gonna do something. That's why I'm like sitting on edge here for a second, because I was gonna do something. Don't remember what it was. Gosh, what was it? What was I gonna show? Let me before we jump into that, I do want to show you a little bit of our studio circle last night. Because if you're kind of bored of me talking about this, I apologize, but I want to show this to you because I think it's really awesome, and it is available. It's something that you can join if you're on the virtual studio circle tier on Patreon, and if you're a student of mine, you can join this. It's just part of your lessons that you can join or not join. But let me find it. It is a private class that you're welcome to join. And oh, that's weird. I can see I'm there. That's our live stream today. Let me see if I can find a little bit of the studio circle from last night. There we go. I'm gonna put it on silent because I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but you can see this is just what it's like. There's just a few lovely souls there, and I'm over here in the corner and right now I'm just kind of having everybody do a little listening and testing everybody's ability to hear whole steps and half steps, and it's really sweet. It's so lovely. It's an hour. It's the last it's gonna be the last Friday of the month, and so if you'd like to join it, it's just lovely times. So I'm gonna pause that. I also want to show you, since I'm showing you stuff, I want to show you a little bit of Psychic Bob's live stream because yours truly was on it. I'm so proud of it. So let me just show you a tiny bit of this. I was the first guest today, and that was wonderful. And he's lovely. He's a lovely teacher. Let me just fast forward it a tiny bit.
How can I say that join us? Guys, don't forget, register.
It's me.
Last day you can register.
Let's see. Let's find a question. Oop, it froze. It's riveting. This is very interesting stuff, isn't it? Dion, thank you. You know what? I got your email the other day, and I think there was a problem with the uploading of my live stream on Wednesday, so it just didn't upload correctly, so I don't know that you can download it. Apologies.
All right, thank you.
I was trying to get him to come on my channel.
Let's count down. Sure, go ahead.
I'm asking him about my studio space.
Moved out of my studio that I rent, and that was a sad moment. I don't know if I'll be back there. I don't know if you see a new place opening up that's fabulous and wonderful, that's maybe more close to me, or if I'm going to be going back to that place that I was. Do you see anything with like a studio space?
Well, this is interesting because when I first brought you in this morning when I was setting up, I had a flash, and I was just talking about being psychic. I had a flash, I was going to ask you, are you doing some business changes or some moves? because I got to tell you, I feel like you're at a crossroads right now.
So anyway, I won't continue on with it. But if you're interested, I thought it was fabulous. I loved it. Love Psychic Bob. He's wonderful. So those are my announcements. The Studio Circle. And if you'd like to check out a video that I was on someone else's channel, I'm very proud of it, and it was really fun to be on Psychic Bob's channel. So with that, let me finish my tea. Did you guys like the live stream the other day on Wednesday where we were reading through, oh, you just downloaded it. Oh, great. Did you like the live stream where we were reading through Ivan Galamian? Oh, my voice. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, I need to watch that. Can you hear me better now? I'll just have to scream at you. I can put my headphones in, but sometimes that affects the sound, I think. Hopefully that's better now. Is that better? So, Gail, thank you. Were you at Psychic Bob's live stream? Did you hear that? I thought it was I thought it was quite interesting. Okay, you can hear me better. Good. So I'm going to continue this. I think that this would be a nice little series to read Ivan Galamian's Principles of Violin Playing. This is such a wonderful book. And maybe on Wednesdays for a little while, I'll just kind of sit down and we'll do a live stream on Wednesday and just read through this, because I don't like to record videos unless I'm like really inspired to do them to do something. So I just don't know what I would at the moment. I don't know what videos I would record for you at the moment. So I think this might be kind of the answer. We can sit down on Wednesdays, we can have a little bedtime story and read through Ivan Galamian's Principles of Violin Playing. So that will be perhaps what happens on Wednesdays for the time being, until a fabulous idea pops into my head for a video to give you. Let me grab my harp. We're gonna talk about major and minor for a little bit. Okay. So I like to think of a minor third. By the way, over here is the minor third. You can see I've got 1, 2, 3, and I'm playing the 1 and the 3 here. And over here, I'm just giving it some context. I'm playing the 1. You can see my first finger's on blue, my first finger's on blue down here, and then 5 notes up. So red and blue over here, and I'm doing blue, and then 3 notes up from that. So I'm playing an F minor chord here. And then if I raise that third a half step, now it's going to be major. It's like the light goes on, light goes off. It's not interesting. So thirds are quite magical because they have the ability to change our sense of the feel of the pieces completely. Let me just play you a little improvisation with like a minor kind of collection of notes. So. Thing. And now if I was to just tweak that and raise my third scale degrees, let me do that real quick. Think about this. Think. Now we're in the Mixolydian mode. The Mixolydian mode starts on the 5th scale degree. So But anyway, it lowers the seventh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is lowered, and we're back to the 1 again. But anyway, listen to the difference. I'm going to do kind of a similar improvisation. It's very, very, very different to hear major versus minor, I think. Let's draw a picture. This is actually the thing that I was thinking of doing and then forgot suddenly. So let's draw a picture. I'm going to grab my whiteboard and a marker. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to just draw a circle. Draw a little circle, and you can think of this as whatever key you're in, right? Let's say you have 1 sharp, right? You've got an F sharp in there. You know what? Let me pop this over here. Pop it up here. Because what we're going to do is, which would be basically G major. On one side of the spectrum, I'll put a little smiley face because it's major. But I could color in one side of this. And we can think of this as the dark side, the contrasting side. So the other key that shares 1 sharp is E minor. E minor. They both have the same key signature of an F sharp, right? But on one side you've got your dark, and on the other side you've got your light. And the interesting thing is in a yin-yang you've got a balance dot as well. You've got a little dot to balance things out. So within the darkness you've got a little dab of lightness, and within the light you've got a little dab of darkness too. And sometimes, you know, we're on this side of the spectrum with the light, and sometimes we're on this side of the spectrum with the dark. Sometimes we're somewhere in the middle, right? Sometimes we maybe we're the darkness and the light. Maybe we're the light and the darkness. So, but it's interesting how they are all in that circle, but they just, you know, if they're contrasting and they create the whole. So I like to think of key signatures like that. Let me play you a little improvisation. My harp's tuned in E flat major, so I'm going to play you an E flat major scale. And then I'll play you its relative minor, which would be C minor. Music is the light. Lovely, lovely, lovely. That's right, Dion, I agree. Okay, so let me just make sure this is all right. So my harp is tuned in E flat major, so I'm going to just play you an E flat major scale. And just as you know, I have no idea how to play the harp. I'm just kind of doing my own thing. Hello, Spock. Thank you. So you're another one of my oldies and goodies. I love you. So, yes, you see how uplifting the E flat major scale is? Let's do a little improvisation just using the E flat major scale. So, let me see here. I might not be able to do that. I'm going to do this. I can do that. And I'm going to start on the major third up here. Down to the 1. Back to the third. Here's the 5. 1. To the 3. direction I like to go. Let's jump up an octave higher. Whoops. I have to change. Let's see. I'm not sure what it is I'm hearing in my head. Maybe it is C minor. That C minor is the relative minor, so my ear went down to the relative minor for some contrast. Do you hear how pretty that is? Back to the major. Minor. So having that beautiful contrast, it really does make a whole. It gives you a little bit of understanding, and often, at least in my life, I tend to learn by having to do things. Like I have to do things to learn, and often I make lots of mistakes. And does anyone else learn by by experience? So, and I think that's a great way to learn, because you can actually, let's say you're in an experience that's really awesome, then you experience that, and let's say that you're in an experience that's like terrible. And you can learn from that too. So you'll learn both sides of the spectrum and develop as a person. Hello, you guys. I'm so happy you're here. I saw a question about something with major and minor. I saw your question, but I was talking at the same time. Mind thinking and taking it at the same time is hard for me to do. Let me talk to you a little bit more about how to change things from major into minor. I like to do this around Halloween time. So one of my favorite things to do is like take really happy songs, like Happy Birthday, or like some Christmas, like Jingle Bells is hilarious to put in the minor modes. What are other happy songs? Like Here Comes the Bride, hysterical. If you put that in the minor mode, it's really, really funny. You can also put them in different like modes. Yes, I always learn by teaching. It is a great way to learn. Yeah, I also learn by teaching too. I've learned so much just by teaching. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let me pop this down. We're going to grab the whiteboard again. I'm going to leave this lovely drawing up, and we're going to just get into this for a second. And you know what, if you guys are interested in this, I have a scales like series on my Patreon where we go in depth. I've done it in depth now with 2 keys. So with C and A minor, I've given you an intro video to C and A minor, and then recordings of C major and all the 3 different A minors you can play along with, and then tutorials on all of them, like just showing you exactly how to play the scale. So if you're interested in that, just check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/violin viola masterclass, and you can access some videos about scales and things there if you're interested in that. So okay, let's take the key of C. This is an easy one because you've got no sharps and no flats. Okay? You know what? I'm going to teach you something even better. We're going to get to that eventually. I need to erase this picture. This is going to help you when you are playing music. This will help you so much. You need to memorize the order of the sharps. The order of the sharps. Okay? Like when you're looking at a piece of music and it has 1 sharp, it's always F sharp. If you have 2 sharps, it's always F and C sharp. If you have 3 sharps, it's always F, C, and G sharp. So Father Charlie goes down and eats breakfast. Those are all the sharps, and that's my little acronym for the order of the sharps. Father Charlie goes down and eats breakfast. 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 So Now it's also the order of the flats if you reverse it, okay? So let's say that you're looking at a key signature with 1 sharp. You know now that it's an F sharp. That's your only altered note. Then you can find your hand patterns. But if you wanted to know what key it is, you're going to just find the note that comes after that. So in the alphabet, what comes after F sharp? Or what's the next possible note you can play in music after F sharp? A, B, C, D, E, F, F sharp, G. So this is going to be G major. Okay? This little scenario is always going to tell you the major, and I will show you how to find the minor in a little bit. Let's do another example. Let's say you have 2 sharps. It's F sharp and C sharp. Father, Charlie. And to find the key, the major key, you're going to take the last sharp, it's always the last sharp, and you're going to find the note that comes after that in the alphabet. A, B, C, C sharp, D. Okay, so this is going to be D major. 2 sharps has D major. Let's say you have 3 sharps. I'm going to test you guys in a little bit, okay? Father, Charlie goes F, C, and G sharp, okay? So, oh my goodness, I'm from France. Fabulous. Thank you for being here. Bonjour. We're going to take the last sharp and we're going to find the note after it. Right, what comes after G sharp in music? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G sharp. Not H, unless you're in Germany, but it's A. A major. I'm running out of this color. A major. You know what, when I pop out to CBS, I need to remember to get more markers, because I use these all the time for teaching. I'm running out of colors. Right? A major. Okay, so basically, I'm going to ask you to find the answer to one of these, but just review. This is the order of the sharps. Father, Charlie goes down and eats breakfast. If you are looking at a key signature with 1 sharp, it's always F sharp. If you want to know what the major key is, you're going to find the note that comes right after that. Next possible note, a half step higher. In this case, it's G major that comes after F sharp. If you have 2 sharps, it's F sharp and C sharp, Father, Charlie. To find the major key, you just take the last sharp and find the note above it. So the next note after C sharp is D, and that makes it D major. If you have 3 sharps, Father, Charlie goes, you're going to take the last sharp, G sharp, find the note that comes after it. What comes after G sharp in music, a half step higher than G sharp, is A, so that's going to make it A major. Okay, so here's the question for you guys. If you're looking at a key signature with 4 sharps, what is the major key? I'm going to let you think about it. What is the major key that has 4 sharps? What is the major key that has 4 sharps? You're going to have to do something with this last sharp here. You have to find something in relation to this D sharp. What comes after D sharp? What comes after D sharp in music or in the alphabet? A, B. Yes! E major! Igor. Is it Igor or Igor? Thank you so much. Yes, Dion E. You guys get gold stars. I am so proud of you. And for all of those of you that were saying it in your head, I heard you because I'm psychic now. Very good. Let's do another one. Let's say that you had a key signature with 5 sharps. 5 sharps. Yes, you guys got my joke, yay. So 5 sharps. What key is it? A sharp. What's the half step higher than A sharp? Do, 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 do. Come on, you guys, tell me what comes after A sharp. B, that's right, B major. It would be B major. Okay, now we're gonna be getting into tricky world. Tricky world, I don't know where that came from. We're going to be going into a little bit more challenging area. E sharp. Okay. E sharp. Let's say that we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sharps. E sharp. We have to find a half step higher than E sharp, and that can be a little bit tricky. E sharp is also known as the note. Does anyone know what E sharp is also known as? I'm not going to write it here because I will I will run out of room. You know what? I should. For those of you, because you're going to get confused if you don't understand. So let's just write this out really quickly. F. F is the, you're very close. It would be F sharp. It would be F sharp major. I'm going to tell you why. So let's just write out all of the notes that we have. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay? Now, these are all of the natural notes that we have. We also have sharps and flats, which we'll put in a second. Between C and D and E, and E and F. Hold on, let me just make sure I did this right. I did this not right. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay, so between B and C and E and F, you naturally have a half step. That means that there's no note between them, right? But all the other ones are a whole step away, so you can divide them in half. That's why you have like an A sharp or a B flat, C sharp, D flat, D sharp or E flat, F sharp or G flat, G sharp or A flat. You can divide all those other ones in half. But let's say that we're sitting here at E and we're going to have an E sharp. E sharp, a half step higher than E sharp, is actually F. A half step higher than E. E sharp equals F natural. E sharp is an F natural. So if we have to find the key that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sharps, the next note above F is F sharp. So it would be F sharp major. Okay, now I know I just confused like a million of you, so let me say this again. If we have a key with 6 sharps in it, the 6th sharp is E sharp. So we have to find a half step higher than E sharp. That would be like an E double sharp, but that's too confusing. It's kind of like a math lesson. Let's just have a little music math lesson. Here we are at E. If we have an E sharp, it's really an F. It's really an F natural. So E sharp equals F natural. So for us to find the key, we know that E sharp now is an F natural. We have to find a half step higher than that. So it's F sharp major. I know this is confusing. Let's do one more and then we'll have done all of them. Okay, let's say that we have all the sharps. So we've got Father Charlie goes down and eats breakfast. We've got all of the sharps. Is this fun? Yay, you guys. See, learning is fun, isn't it? Learning is fun. B sharp. So we have to find a half step higher than B sharp to figure out the key. So if we're here at B, B sharp is also known as the note. Can you guys tell me? B sharp is also known as the note. What is it? What is it? I know you guys are saying it. I can hear you saying it in your head. Type it. Type it to me. Type it. B sharp is also known as a D sharp major. No. So you're almost there. I know it's confusing. Very good guess. Very good guess. A B sharp is also known as a C. Yes, a C natural. Very good. So the thing that we're doing, you guys, is we're trying to figure out if B sharp, what B sharp is. I know it's very confusing. Okay, here we are at B. If I was going to raise B a half step, B sharp, that becomes a C natural. A B sharp is a C natural. It's the same thing if I have an E sharp. An E sharp is an F natural. If I was to raise E a half step, it's an F. If I raise B a half step, it's a C. Okay? Wrap your head around it. Wrap your head around it. So B sharp is also known as a C. So the key would be C sharp major. Yes, the key would be C sharp major for this. So if you have 7 sharps, you are now in C sharp major and you are not having fun because you've got to calculate all those crazy sharps. So does that make sense, you guys? I'm gonna give you a quiz now. Can somebody tell me the order of the sharps? I wish that, this is if we were in Zoom, like if you were in the Zoom circle, you could, it is cool, isn't it? You could just yell out, Father Charlie goes down and eats breakfast. Okay, let's just say it together. The order of the sharps is Father Charlie goes down and eats breakfast. I'm gonna go over this. We're gonna do a little review. Father Charlie goes down and eats breakfast. This is the order of the sharps. That means when you look at a key signature, you now know what those sharps are. If you have one sharp, it's F sharp, Father. If you have two sharps, it's F and C sharp. If you have three sharps in your key signature, it's F, C, and G sharp. If you have 7 sharps in your key signature, it's all these sharps here. And we need to know the order because the last one helps us figure out what the major key is. We have to find a half step higher than the last sharp to find the key. A half step higher than the last sharp gives us the major key. Okay, so let's do a little review. Let's say we had one sharp. What is the major key? What is the major key? We have to find a half step higher than F sharp. F. You're close. A half step higher than F sharp. We gotta go up. G, blissfully. Yes, G. G major. That's okay. Don't feel bad if you got it wrong. That's all right. We're gonna just keep, doing this together so that it makes sense. It starts to make sense because it's quite tricky. This is something we do in college music theory class, okay? So don't feel bad if you're struggling with it. Let's do another one. Let's say we have F sharp and C sharp. That's our key. We're gonna use the last sharp and that's gonna help us find the key. We have to find a half step higher. What comes after C sharp? What's a half step higher than C sharp? D major, yes, D major, very good, very good. I wish I could give you like a little chocolate or something. Oh, thank you guys, thank you so much. Blissfully, I really appreciate that. Well, I'm glad this is helping. So let's keep going. Let's say we have 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. We're gonna figure out what the major key is. What comes after G sharp? What comes after G sharp in the alphabet? A, yes, A major. Very good. I'm running out of room. Let's say we had 4 sharps. What are the first 4 sharps? Father, Charlie goes down, right? We're going to use the last sharp, D sharp, to help us figure out the major key. What comes after D sharp? Yay, yes. What comes after D sharp, you guys? Tell me. Oh my goodness, thank you, Eloise. Eloise. I'm so sorry if I said your name wrong. Thank you. I appreciate it. What comes after D sharp, you guys? E. The note after D sharp. So, okay, I can see we're getting confusing. What we're doing down here is we're trying to find a half step higher than the last note. We're not trying to find what comes next. We're just trying to find a half step higher than the last sharp. So a half step higher than D sharp is E. So that's going to make this E major. All right, let's keep going. I'm going to just leave one of these as a little example up here for you. So let's say we have 5 sharps. Father, Charlie goes down, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We're going to use this last sharp, A sharp. We have to find a half step higher, not here. We're done with this now. We have to just find a half step higher than A sharp. What's a half step higher than A sharp? B major, yes, B major. Okay, now we're getting into the tricky one. We're getting into, and it is really important, you guys, that you remember we're finding the major. I'm going to show you how to find the minor, but we have to know how to find the major first, okay? All right, so now we're here with Father Charlie goes down and eats, E sharp. Okay, so now I'm going to just switch colors real quick because I just want to write this out for you. E sharp is also known as what note? Who knows what an E sharp is also known as? F, not F major, but F, yes. E sharp is also known as the note F. F. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Good. Just want to make sure I got my alphabet right. So you guys, the word major, if you were to say F major, I would be thinking you're either talking about a scale or a chord. But if you just say F, you're talking about a single note, okay? E sharp is also known as the note F, and let me just show you why. So these are the natural notes that we have, all right? So naturally you're gonna have a half step between B and C and E and F. That means that there's no note between them. Like if you look at a piano key, it's divided between white keys, black keys, white keys, black keys, white keys, black keys. But there are two places within an octave where you have a white key and a white key, and that's right here because there's no note between them. B and C, E and F. But if I was going to raise E a half step, I can call I can call my F an E sharp. Am I confusing? I think I said that confusingly. If I'm sitting here at E and I want to raise this a half step and still call it E, I'm gonna call F an E sharp. I feel like I'm saying this very confusingly. I'm not sure why this is coming out so confusingly. F, its other name, is E sharp. Okay, let's go over here. Here we are at B. If I was to raise B a half step, it's C, but it's also could be called B sharp. If I raise B a half step, it's the note C, but it's also called B sharp. Let's let this sink in because I'm going to confuse you. We're going to go backwards. Okay, let's say that I'm sitting here at F and I go backwards. I'm going to lower this a half step. A half step lower than F is E, but I could call this F flat. E is also known as F flat. If I'm here at C and I lower this a half step lower than C is the note B, but it could also be called C flat. Are you guys following me? I'm so sorry, this is confusing. Okay, but anyway, going back to here, we're dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sharps. Father Charlie goes down and eats. We have to know how to convert this E sharp because it really doesn't make any sense. So let's just think of this as the note F. Now we're trying to find a half step higher than that so that we can figure out the key. So that's easy now, it's F sharp major. Otherwise we'd be thinking it's E double sharp and that doesn't make any sense. So we had to convert E sharp into the note F. You guys following me? All right, let's continue onwards. We've got one more to do. All 7 sharps. Hello, Mozart Berti. Hello, thank you for being here. All right, Father Charlie goes down and eats breakfast. B sharp is our last sharp, and we have to find a half step higher than that to figure out the key, the major key. So here we are at B, but it's a B sharp. What's another name for B sharp? You guys tell me, what's another name for B sharp? If I was to raise B a half step, what note is B sharp? C. Yes, very good, you guys, very good. So C, and then we have to find a half step higher than that to figure out the key. So this would be C sharp major. C sharp major. The key, the major key with all the sharps is C sharp major. All right, so this is step 1. Remember, we have a yin yang, we have light and dark. So we've just found the light side. We found the major key that has however many sharps. Okay, so let me just do one last little review with you for the confusing B sharps and E sharps and F flats and C flats and all of that. Okay, let me think about this. Let's just write this really big. So B to C, because when you write things big, it's easier to see. There's no note between B and C. They're a half step apart. So if I was going to raise B a half step, I'm going to run into the note C, but I could also call this a B sharp. B sharp and C are exactly the same. Vice versa, if I was going to lower C a half step, it's the note B, but I could also call it a C flat. Okay? If I raise B a half step, it's the note C. It's also known as the note B sharp. If I'm here at C and I lower it a half step, it's the note B, but I could call it a C flat as well. C flat and B are the same. C and B sharp are the same. Okay, let's do the other one that's kind of weird like this, E and F. If you raise E a half step, it's the note F, but it's also known as the note E sharp. Okay. If you're sitting here at F and you lower it a half step, it's the note E, but you could also call it an F flat. Okay, confusing, yes. Okay, let's move along. Move along with this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find the relative minor. It's called the relative because they're related. They have the same key signature, but they just, one sounds happy and the other one sounds sad. All right, let's just draw a little picture of our yin yang so that you've got an idea of what I'm talking about. Right, let's say that this here represents the keys with two sharps, right? What are those two sharps? Father, Charlie, so F sharp and C sharp. Okay, I'm going to divide this in half. On one side, let's figure out the major. What's a half step higher than C sharp? We've got two sharps. What's the major scale with two sharps? Father, Charlie, what's a half step higher than C sharp? You guys, I can hear you in your head saying what the key is. D major, yes, D major. D major. So we've got two sharps. We take the last sharp, find a half step higher, and that gives us the major key. So we are in D major. Now over here is the dark side. We're going to call this the minor side. So let's figure this out. All we have to do, and I'm going to write this out so you can see it. D, E, we've got an F sharp, G, A, B, we have a C sharp, D, okay? I'm going to put in what's called the scale degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Now the relative minor, that means the scale that shares this key signature, but it's the dark side, the minor side, is always the 6th scale degree. Okay, so the relative minor of D major is B minor. It's always going to be the 6th scale degree of whatever your major key is. Let's find another one. I need a gigantic whiteboard. Okay, let's say here we are. I'm going to divide it in half. On the light side, we're going to have a scale with 3 sharps. Okay. What are those 3 sharps? Father, Charlie, goes. We're going to use G sharp to help us find what the major key is. What's a half step higher than G sharp? What's a half step higher than G sharp, you guys? A major, yes, A major. Very good. Now this dark side also has 3 sharps. There's still F, C, and G. But what we have to do is find the 6th scale degree of A major. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And remember we have 3 sharps. Father, Charlie, goes. Okay, let's number them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're back to 1. Remember we already called A1. So the 6th scale degree is F sharp. So F sharp minor. Has 3 sharps in it, okay? F sharp minor also has 3 sharps in it. A major and the relative minor is F sharp minor. All right, it's always the 6th scale degree. Let's do another one. Let's say we've got a key this time with 4 sharps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember the order of the sharps? Father, Charlie goes down. So we've got 4 sharps. Father, Charlie goes down. We have to find a half step higher than D sharp. What's a half step higher than D sharp, you guys? What's a half step higher than D sharp? What's a half step higher than D sharp? What's a half step? Thank you. E. Very good. E. So that's going to make this E major. That's right. The major scale with 4 sharps is E major. All right. Now we're going to find the relative minor. Start on E. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. And remember we have 4 sharps. Let's go pop them in. Father, Charlie goes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. We need to find the 6th scale degree. That's our relative minor. Our relative minor is C sharp natural. Sorry, that doesn't make any sense. C sharp minor, what am I saying? C sharp minor, you guys. C sharp minor is the relative minor of E major. Okay? C sharp minor and E major. They have the same key signature. E major, interestingly, is one of the happiest and brightest sounding keys. At least for me, it's very bright and beautiful sounding. And C sharp minor is one of the darkest sounding keys. It's very sad, very, very sad. So they are really contrasting. They're kind of opposites. They're complete opposites, at least in my mind. Let's just do one more. We'll do a bonus one, just a bonus one since it's starting to make sense. Okay, let's do a scale with, let's do a tricky one. Let's do a scale with 6 sharps in it. So divide it in half. Father, Charlie goes down and eats. Okay. All right. So what is our major key with 6 sharps in it? You guys remember what an E sharp is called? If you raise E a half step, E sharp, what is E sharp's other name? What is E sharp's other name? F. It's F sharp major. Yes, the key with 6 sharps in it is F sharp major. That's exactly right. Are you leaving? Are you heading out? Okay, I'll be done soon. Yeah. We have to go pick up the car, you guys. I'm sorry. So, anyway, it's starting to make sense. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. All right, so let's find the relative minor. We're gonna start on F sharp. F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Pop in our 6 sharps. Father, Charlie goes down and eats. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Our 6th scale degree is D sharp minor. That is the relative minor of F sharp major. Okay? Should we do the last one, the one that's like really tricky? Okay, so we have a scale with all 7 sharps in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Father Charlie goes down and eats breakfast. F, C, G, D, A, E, B. B sharp is our last one. Okay, remember B and C are a half step, so if I raise B sharp a half step, it's also known as the note C. So at the scale with all 7 sharps in it is C sharp major. Okay, we're going to find the relative minor. Remember, it's always the 6th scale degree. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Father Charlie goes down and eats breakfast. Every single note is sharp. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So you can see the 6th scale degree, the relative minor of C sharp major is, you guys, what is the relative minor? What's the 6th scale degree? What is the 6th scale degree? Thank you. A sharp. A sharp minor. All right, so yin and yang. They share the same key signature, but they are contrasting. They are meant to be contrasting. That's the thing with major and minor. It's literally a yin and a yang. It's a yin and a yang, light and dark in my mind. That's the point of major and minor, and it all boils down to the fact that you've got a major third to begin your scale. We didn't talk about that, so you might not understand, but let's just listen. Here's an E flat major scale. Do, re, mi. Mi is the third. It's a major third. It's unhappy. If I switch over to the relative minor, C minor, that's my red string down here. Let's listen. Do, re, mi. Instead of do, re, mi, it's do, re, mi. It's sad sounding. Gosh, I need to work on my harp, my harp playing. Can you guys hear that here? C minor. And here's its relative major, E flat major. One's happy and one is sad, or one's light and one's dark, just like in the yin yang, but they have the same key signature. All right, you guys, this was so fun. I have got to go help my other half pick up his car, so we're gonna go pop out. I hope that you found this interesting. I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to really chill and babble and relax. But I'll see you on Wednesday for our little story time with Ivan Galamian, one of the greatest violin teachers of all times. So I will see you Wednesday, okay? Lots of love, you guys. Thank you so much for those of you that donated for today's lesson. That was fabulous. I appreciate it. I really appreciate that. So you guys made my day. Thank you so very much, you guys. Mwah. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, you guys.